My name's Sandra. I'm mum of two children, got a boy and a girl, really lucky. And this is my dog, little Miss Betsy. She's so cute. Okay, so let's get cracking. The topic today is IVF. And although IVF is fantastic and I know that it works for a lot of people, it would never have worked for me. So I want to talk to you about my experience, and that's it. I'm not a qualified doctor, I'm not a consultant, I'm a children's entertainer. So what gives me the right to talk to you about IVF? Well, the fact that it was recommended. Hopefully it might help somebody that you know is actually going through the IVF route or might be going through the IVF route, or even somebody that's been through it already and it's failed and they just have to literally come to terms with the fact that they'll never be a parent. My story is really important and that's why I want to get it out here. So having a baby isn't always that simple. And for me, it wasn't very easy at all. So I took 5 years to have my first child, which is a son, and he's called Joshua, and he's now coming up to 21 years of age, and I am so proud of him. But the journey mentally and physically was just painful, and it has left some scars. So yeah, I do want to talk to you, not about the painful side, not about the mental torture that it gave me, but the joy and the outcome is what I'm talking about today. I'm going to be doing a YouTube video, and it will be on my peace of mind and how did I find real joy and happiness, because even when you've got your children, the pain that it caused is still there, it's still locked away, and sometimes it just seeps out, and it's how do I manage that pain even though I've got 2 children, and what even gives me the right to feel depressed at times. But hey, that's life, and I do. So I'm going to cover that, and it might be a little bit painful, but I'm going to tell you how I cope with the mental side of things, and how I just keep going on a daily basis, and the happiness and the joy that I've got, and my journey. So here goes. So yeah, 5 years to try and have my first child, and a lot of effort, and it led to the IVF route, and it initiated with a hospital appointment. I wasn't expecting that IVF would even be mentioned at this appointment, but it was, and it was mentioned really quickly, and it was mentioned almost within the first 5 minutes of the discussion. So it was, right, your name's Sandra Wallace, and this is your age, right, correct, and you're struggling to have a baby. Yes, right, well, okay, under the circumstances, what I suggest we do is we start IVF because you're already 35 years of age, and that's it. So I was given a load of injections and taught how to inject into my stomach, and sent home with the medication and given a lot of information. And what struck me was just the speed at which the decision had been made. How could this route be right? Was there no other options for me? Surely there must be. It's going back, obviously, Josh is 21, so it's going back 21 years, and they may well have changed their attitude to this, and how they decide who and who shouldn't undertake IVF. So I was fortunate enough, because my husband, he worked for Customs and Excise, and he had a private medical plan called Benenden, and at the time they'd just recruited an amazing man called Mr. Hefney, and he was actually starting to study and look at infertility. So they actually wanted, I don't like the word guinea pigs, but they were looking for patients that were struggling to have children. So fortunately for me, I came under that category. And so we had our very first meeting with the lovely Mr. Hefney, and he asked my age and a number of other questions, and said this, and this is the key. He said to me and my husband, but how would anyone know that IVF would even work for you when we don't even know what the problems are? that just made so much sense. I was going down this IVF route. I was going to get the first one free, and then after that it was just going to cost an arm and a leg and the mortgage, probably after remortgage. And then to have all of the disappointment that would have followed. And the end result of IVF for me would have been no children. I would have no children. I make this statement because it is just so vitally important to some people out there that I would be childless. I would have no child ever calling me mum. And mum is one of the most important words to me. When my children say that, I literally feel so blessed that they say mum and I'm a mum. That's a really important word. And that's what I wanted to be, a mum. I wanted it so desperately. But had I gone down the IVF route, I wouldn't have children now. I can guarantee that. And I can guarantee that because Mr. Hefney actually said he needed to do keyhole surgery and go in and have a look at what was causing the problem. Why couldn't I conceive? It's a natural thing. I should be able to conceive. So my husband's sperm count was looked at, and that was absolutely fine, even though he was an older dad too, but that was fine. So the problem was me. So yes, I had an operation, and it ended up being a 4-hour operation. And the end result of that operation, unbeknown to me, was that I had a mass of endometriosis. Now apparently you can have the tiniest bit and be in absolute agony. I didn't know this. I didn't know anything about endometriosis, never even heard of the word. And I was 35 years of age. Or you can have a mass of it and not be in any pain. And I fell into that category. I had a lot of endometriosis, but I had no pain. So I had no idea that I had this. So that was all cleaned and cleared away, and there was a lot of that. The other problem that he encountered when he did the exploratory surgery on me was that I had a twisted tube. So there was only one side that was actually working, and the side that was working had a dermoid cyst, and it was quite a large one, and that needed to be removed. So after the surgery, did I fall pregnant immediately or not? Well, the answer was that I needed a month's recuperation, and then I went back to Benenden, and it was all experimental, as I say, but it worked perfectly. So every day I went in and I had a scan of my ovaries to see at what stage they were at. And the hospital, under the care of the angel without wings, Mr. Hefney, he actually said when we should and when we shouldn't have intercourse. And he wanted the sperm to be at its maximum. He wanted it to be really, really good, strong, not kind of be doing it every night. So they looked at when I was ovulating, they looked at where the eggs were, they looked at every single stage. And this went on for 3 days, and they said abstain from intercourse, abstain. And then on this amazing day, they said to me, right, we want you to now try to conceive a child. And guess what? I fell pregnant. I fell pregnant with Joshua. And that man, I just thought was amazing. Mr. Hefney. He's a London consultant. He's in Harley Street. And he has now given so many women a chance to become mums. And I cannot thank that man enough. And I just think that this story is so important that I wanted to put it on YouTube and be really honest. They say that everybody's got a book in them, and I'm trying to write my book, but this message was just critical and I wanted it out there now. I'm a working mum and life's really just, it's not difficult, it's just pressurised, let's really be honest. And I'm very creative and I have a lot of things that I love to do. I'm very sporty. and trying to just fit in all the day-to-day activities, just buying your food, cooking the right meals, eating healthily, trying to lose weight, walking the dog every day, and then fitting in all the fantastic stuff that I love to do. The book's kind of taken a back seat, and I didn't think that this message should take a back seat. So I hope for people that are out there that this has given you some inspiration, it's given you another route to look at, and it's just kind of making you think about IVF and is it right for you? And for many people, yes, it is. It just wasn't right for me. And I think that the key here for me was, why am I going down this route when we don't really know what's causing me not to be able to have children? It was just such a simple, tiny thing. So yeah, if you like this message, please remember to give me the thumbs up, please subscribe and press your notification bell, which is so important because I want to talk to you about some other things that have impacted me throughout my life. I want to talk to you honestly and from experience. So I just hope and pray that this helps some people out there, and if it does, please write to me and let me know, because I'd just love to hear from you. God bless.